on the same field that we tree stand on it 2 nights ago. I'm on all this cut bean, and then this side there's a little bit of cut corn, but there's just very little deer traffic here. But I wanted to get out and hunt in the morning. Brian has to do some chores with his cows this morning, so he's not hunting with me. So if a big buck comes out right now, I cannot legally shoot it. So I'm just sitting out here with a doe tag, and I can't shoot a buck until he's part of my hunt. So if a big one walks by, I'll just record it for you. Instead of Brian coming here, we're gonna go do some more deer drive, some party hunting. So, all I've seen is that one doe that milled around over there forever. I think she probably finally bedded down. I've got a covey of about, I don't know, 10 or 15 quail behind me, and I've been watching them play around. But so we're gonna get down, get all the camera equipment down, and go do some more party hunting with Brian and the bunch. And then I saw a really good buck this morning driving in on this other property just right next, not very far from here, that we can hunt. Same landowner. And so we may try to sneak up. It's a double buddy stand, so we'd probably be sitting together in the same stand. But he was really tall. He wasn't wide, but he was really tall. Definitely would like to get some camera footage of him and maybe a shot at him. So let's go party hunting. Alright guys, we're out here with the group, and we're a driver now, we're pusher. We're going to try to push bucks up to these guys. We're about to push this like old junk pile with Jason, and see how it goes.
Ain't jumped no deer. I shot some in the first setup. I am hot and sweaty. I need to like wear the t-shirt to do this, but we're still driving. I haven't heard any gunshots since we really started pushing. And this is just too beautiful of deer country to not be having some deer get pushed. Maybe at the end there'll be a lot of shooting. This is gorgeous in here. I mean, gorgeous. I'm in like a food plot now. Look at this. Deer driving a pond. This is me deer driving right there. This is the good stuff. Kicking them up out of the cattails. Pleasant. Apparently I just kicked one up.
What was that? Brian, what'd you shoot at? A doe?
Okay, so this is a different kind of deer driving here. I'm having to be on my hands and knees, crawl under these low cedars. Look how thick this is. There's no, you just, look at this. This is a different kind of deer driving. I'm obviously not gonna be the one pulling the trigger on anything, but hopefully I'm kicking them up. All right, so I was crawling on my hands and knees, gunshot went off, scared me to death. Jason over there, got him a doe, smoked her. But Jason's literally 30 yards from me, so it scared me quite a bit when he pulled the trigger. Look how steep this ravine is right here. I'm talking straight down there. So Brian and I spent a little bit longer party hunting than what we thought we were going to. So we kind of got out here last minute. Didn't get to do a lot of pre-roll footage for this. But this was a double buddy ladder stand that we hung the previous year when I was there bow hunting. And when I saw that big buck early that morning, cross the road and head right towards that double buddy, I checked the wind. I said, Brian, we've got to get out there this afternoon. The wind's perfect for that. He went in there. There's a good chance he'll be coming back out. And so we crawl up in this double buddy stand together. And if you've never hunted in a double buddy stand, it's fun. It is a huge stand. There's a lot of moving pieces. It's got a gun rail that goes over the top. If you got two people in there, weapons and cameras, it's a lot to put in one area, you know, and Brian's a big old farmer guy, and I'm all bundled up and closed, so it's tight quarters.
Hey, okay, we made it. We're in the stand. This is another style of party hunting. It's a two-man party. We hope it's a three-man party. We want the third man to be a big old whitetail. I seen a big one this morning driving in with my truck, and he came into here. I didn't hunt there this morning, so we're hoping he bedded up here. We got a wind blowing right at the camera. The bedding's back there. Hopefully it all works out. We got two men, we got two guns. I'm gonna try to kill one.
This little evening hunt was full of all kinds of stuff. At one point, Brian had one of those infamous cough attacks where you just can't help it. You get that tickle in your throat and you can't help it. 3:30 in the afternoon, it gets dark at 4:30. But he starts having this coughing attack, and we're thinking, darn, you know, this is bad timing for a cough attack. I get a water bottle out for him. That helps. And then we get these does. They start funneling out into this field to our left, and it's perfect. We've still got probably an hour left of shooting light. The does are coming out on the field. This is the earliest we've seen deer moving since we've been there. They've been so nocturnal and afraid to commit to coming out into the fields. And then Brian he sneezes and he tries to stop it, but he does that whole thing where he goes and it sounded like this great big snort wheeze, and the does fled off the field. And it wasn't much longer later, one of the does came back out, and she was kind of eerie, but she was out there a good ways, a couple hundred yards away. And she was kind of checking things. Well, while I'm sitting there in the stand, I hear just clear as a bell, I hear this sound of a deer jump the fence behind us. There's a fence behind us about 20 yards tops. And you hear the hooves of the deer hit the fence, and you hear it land. And I look at Brian, I whisper, I was like, dude, that was a deer that just crossed the fence. And I can tell he's coming behind the tree to my right. And so I'm trying to spin around and look, you get dizzy trying to look out the corner of your eye. And I can see that it's a buck, and I see it's on a scrape. It's not pawing the ground, but it's got its head up in the trees, and it's hitting the licking branch. And I'm trying to, like, out the corner of my eye, age the deer. And I get a couple of good looks at it, and I knew that's a shooter, dude. I turned back, I told Brian, I said, dude, we got a big one. He's right here. He's 13 yards, for 20 yards behind us coming in. And so I've got to... The camera's mounted up here, and this is a giant cottonwood, and I barely, like this big around, and I've got my camera arm up here high, and so I'm trying to get the camera. I had to put it high enough to where the gun rail could come down, so the camera's way up high. I'm sitting. My gun's over here pointed to the left, and what we were going to do is if anything came from the left, Brian was going to shoot it. If anything came from the right, I was going to try to shoot it. So this deer's coming from the right, so I get the camera, and I get it pointed down on this deer just about the time that he's done hitting the scrape, and he's walking the field edge 13 yards tops. I mean, he is just a few steps away from the stand. By the time I get the camera on and I hit record, I zoom in on the deer because I want to get good footage of the deer. You watch these hunting videos, you want to see a zoomed in shot of the deer. So I zoom in on the deer. And once I get zoomed in on the deer, I turn back for the weapon. As I'm turning back for the weapon and getting turned back around, I'm getting my muzzleloader, my single shot muzzleloader, 209 primer. I turn, and the deer has really picked up his pace. He's walked completely out of the camera. I didn't know it, but he'd walked completely out of the camera, and I literally have 3 steps before he's out of my shooting window, and I'm not sure we're going to get a shot. And pull the trigger. I don't get the shot on camera.
Oh my God, you're kidding me. Give me your gun. Hit me. You're shooting Wolverine. What happened with this one? It just shot a cat. It didn't fire. Did you hit him or? Oh, I don't think I hit him.
It was chaos. I've only one time had my 209 primer not ignite my powder. I cleaned that gun so thoroughly, the breech plug, everything, it was clear. The barrel was good. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't foul the barrel. Maybe I should have done that. It doesn't make sense to me why that gun didn't fire. And I have no idea what was going on with Brian's 350 Legend.
I have no idea. I shot my muzzleloader. Shot a 209 primer. Didn't fire. Brian gave me his gun. Shot 3 times at the deer at 40 yards. Missed it all 3 times. No idea.
That gun was on at 100 yards. I killed those 2 deer with 1 bullet. And here I'm just missing this deer at 30 or 40 yards. Just nothing. Brian goes, "You're shooting over him." I can hear Brian say, "You shot over him. I think you're shooting over him." So I literally just put the crosshairs on the deer's belly, like the white of the deer's belly. And why that deer stood there and let me pop a 209 primer and 2 shots at 30 yards, why he let me shoot a third time, it was meant to be. God just told him to stay put. That or that deer's just real dumb. Either way, I didn't think I hit the deer. I mean, I knew the deer reacted and ran, but the deer just bounded off real haphazardly, like he was fine. And I was just so frustrated with how they went down. You can probably hear me. How in the world did that just happen, Brian? How did we get a chance at a nice 5.5-year-old, big, mature, 150-inch buck? How did that happen, dude? I was so frustrated. And Brian's like, well, should we go look for blood? And I'm just like, man, we missed it, but yes, we should go look for blood.
All right, so I definitely hit him. That blood's really red, coagulated. So I'm gonna back out.
I thought for sure that gun was we had dropped it in the scope and messed up. And we get down there, and sure enough, there's blood, and it's good, bright red blood. But I'm so in doubt of where that bullet hit, I backed out. There's no way I had any confidence of where that bullet hit the deer. It obviously hit something arterial, but I had no idea where. So we back out and gave the deer for it. All right, we're back in the truck. Brian,
Yep.
what was that like for you behind me?
Oh, I got buck fever myself.
So, I mean, I've had my muzzleloader just pop a 209 primer like that before and not ignite the black powder. Now that gun has been in and out of cold and hot weather the last several days, and maybe I got some moisture in there. I'm not sure why it didn't fire. But instead of putting another 209 in there, we are party hunting at the fullest. We got Brian right next to me, and he was around the back side of the tree. He couldn't have shot the deer unless I'd have let him put the gun on my head. And he handed me his gun. I fire one round, and I just killed 2 deer with 1 bullet with that today. So I couldn't believe it when I shot and the deer didn't move. So it's a bolt action. I load another one in, aim right on the deer's shoulder, pull it again. Deer still doesn't move. I was like, what the? I might have said a bad word. And Brian's like, you're shooting over him. So my next shot, I put the crosshairs down lower, pulled the trigger, and the deer ran off kind of like it didn't hit him. Tail kind of was up a little bit. I didn't think I hit him. I did not. But I sent Brian over there to about where I thought I hit him. We went over there, got the flashlight, and it didn't take long. We found some really thick, already like coagulated red blood. And I'm pretty sure that's front cavity, but we're going back to Brian's. We're literally just, here's Brian's house. I mean, it's that close. And we're gonna plug that video in. Brian said the video is on him. So you guys have already watched it, maybe. I haven't got to watch it. I got to watch it in slow-mo and see if I can see where I hit him. That'll tell us whether we need to go back in after that deer now or wait till tomorrow morning. It's a good deer, dude. I don't know if it's a behemoth by any means, but it's a good old mature deer. It came in behind us there, and I couldn't record it. And Brian couldn't see it. The tree was blocking him. I told Brian, dude, there's a big buck 20 yards behind us, dude. Don't sneeze. Brian sneezed tonight, and didn't matter. So when the good Lord wants you to shoot one, by God, he'll put one right in front of you and let you shoot at it 4 times, apparently. All right, let's go back and review the footage. Woo. All right, we just blood trailed him, and it wasn't a very good blood trail. It was just a steady dripping, but there he is right there. Check it out. Hey, dude, he's bigger than you thought he was. Look at the, I mean, it's a great shot. The deer was dead, like immediately.
Yeah.
Dude, he's pretty solid. This deer is pushing 300 pounds, bro. This deer is way bigger. This deer is way bigger body, dude, than you thought. Look at the size of this deer, dude. Look at him compared to me. Look at the mass on this deer's beams, dude, all the way to here. Like 4.5 inches out here. He's got little G4s. But dude, this is an older deer. This is a beast, dude. This is a 5-year-old deer. Thank you, Brian. Brian, the man behind the camera, is the only reason I got to come do this. The only reason I got to bow hunt last year up here
And he's the only reason that I've got this buck in front of me right now. And Brian, you are selfless and kind, and you are a great friend, and I'm thankful for you. And dude, on the video, it doesn't do this deer justice, does it?
No.
This deer is over 5-inch spaces, over 5 inches on his second circs. I promise you, 5 something in the second, over 5 inches on his third circs, 10, 15, 20, 4.5. This deer has 5, 10, 15, 20. This deer has probably close to 40 inches in mass measurements. And you don't have no eye guards. You got a really cool, check out that kicker point back there, Brian. See, he's got like a 3-tiered eye guard back here. He's got a point back here, there, and this eye guard here is bent over. Look at the neck on him, dude. Dude, that deer's as big, if not bigger than the one last year, isn't it?
Hey, he's bigger.
He's bigger than you. How much do you weigh? All right, you're on video now. And this is Brian, who was right along with the hunt. Brian, you got a buck fever as good as I did. No doubt. Did you enjoy that hunt with me as much as I enjoyed it with you?
Yeah.
Dude, that was a blast. Me and Brian had that tree had like a 48-inch diameter, and we shook it.
What's the date? The 11th?
Today's the 12th, 12/12.
Brian spotted him too. Brian seen his eye glowing and said, "There's a deer's eye." And I was like, "Is it blinking?"
Wasn't blinking. Dude. This is a tanker. Get behind it, dude. I want a video of you checking it out. Because you deserved it as much as yours or mine. You got big old hands, though. You're going to make his horns not look as big. See, God gave me little fingers, so it makes the deer look bigger when I hold them. Talk to us.
Another Iowa deer. Ain't gonna feed on my corn no more.
That's awesome, dude. Awesome hunt, though. Awesome hunt. Hunts are always full of stuff like that, unexpected stuff. It makes the hunt more challenging, more memorable. And man, Brian, I had a blast in that hunt.